If you want to put your life on any kind of proper trajectory towards your dreams and your goals, this is the way. I'm going to tell you a little story about how I use my loneliness to achieve results. Okay, there's 3 pieces to this puzzle, and I will cover those a little bit further in, but first let me tell you how I got here. So along this journey of self-development that I have gotten myself involved in, it began with me diving in really hard to my dark side. So the relationship that I was in was, it was fantastic while it existed, and when it started going downhill, it started snowballing real quick and did go terribly wrong. And there were just so many things that were said from both parties that were very insulting to the other. And so when I left that relationship, I was able to use all of that negativity and all those insults for my fuel as to how I was never going to let that happen to me again. So I spent hours and days and months in the gym just straight fighting demons. And I used it as such. I knew that that was my mission. I was to take all of that hurt and all of those words and just absolutely use them as the fuel for my fire. And so that's what I did, I dug in absolutely as hard as I could. And so the next thing that I did was that I removed everything from my life. Like, I didn't know what was good, what was bad. I was so twisted up and like locked in this zone of just forget everything that I know is normal, because everything that I knew as normal was not making me happy anymore. So I went through a process of elimination, because oftentimes I find that's how I fix a lot of things, is I just delete everything if I hit the erase button. It's the same as with a debit card. You have all those leeching little fees and charges, and then you get a new debit card and all of a sudden, ta-da, they're gone. So it's kind of the same process with my life. So I went through the process of elimination with removing every stimulant, but mainly the people. So I had already lost the people that mattered the most to me at that point. So I knew my family wasn't going anywhere, because they're not going to, they don't have a choice. And so I just cut ties with everyone and everything. And I'm sorry to all my friends that were the victims of that just got ghosted by me. But it was an important part of my process, and thank you for letting me do it. So after I removed all those people from my life, well, I found solitude. I found knowledge. I found wisdom. I found challenge. I found growth. I found all of these different things, but it's all about the place where I found them. I found them by the sacrifice of time that I put in by myself. So I put all this work in intentionally and by my lonesome, knowing that there was no one coming to save me, that nothing anyone was going to tell me was going to make it any better. So I just set out on the journey myself. So looking back on all of that experience, what I have learned as far as a framework on how to use your loneliness to achieve results. Number 1, use your dark side. Use that fuel inside of you from what hurts you. And every time I see somebody really getting after it in the gym, I do want to ask them, who hurt you? Because I used to be that kid that somebody hurt, and you can really tell that somebody's working it. They're leveraging that dark power within themselves, which is a great thing to do. If you have it and you have access to using it as leverage for your growth, that's the way to do it. Use that dark side. Use it. So the next step is to create your own zone and don't let anyone into it. I'm sorry, you're gonna lose some friends. Guess what? They probably weren't your friends anyways. And guess what? Your family's still gonna love you after it's done. They might think you're a little bit weird or something. I don't know. You might have to cover some kind of speed bump with them when you come back to it. But protecting your zone and not letting anyone into it to alter it is absolutely such a key component to creating your achievement. So when all these people, you let them into your zone and they alter what you got going on, they can change so much about what you think. And you may not realize their effects, but the stories that you tie yourselves to because of your whole upbringing and your existence and what the people in your reality think is normal and acceptable and the only way that you can do things, you have to isolate yourself, protect your zone, and know that what you have to offer yourself is your own intelligence, to have your own agency, to go out and find your own correct answers to your own unique problems, because those around you really don't know what you're working with in your own head. So deal with it on yourself. Get into your zone, stay in your zone, protect your zone. Do not let others fuck with your zone. Okay, and point number 3 is pay for your results with solitude. Some time spent there. Just be there. Just be okay with being alone for some period of time, because that is where you're going to find results. When you remove yourself from your standard experiences, your standard coping mechanisms, all of your norms, you're going to have to rid them to spend the time you need with yourself to determine what it is that you need that's actually going to lead to the life that you want to live. So, use your dark side. Maintain your zone. Don't let nobody mess with you. Stay in there. And don't care. Because guess what? 6 months could go by. And you could absolutely rewrite your entire life. And those people are still going to be right where they were when you left them. So just know that they're still going to be exactly the same. They're going to be right where they are. So take the time in your zone to be apart from it. And pay for your results with solitude. So your dark side, you have to use it. The zone, you have to protect it. And solitude, you have to pay for it. You gotta put in the time. That's just the only way. So don't forget, there's 3 rules. Use your dark side, protect your zone, and solitude. Those 3 things are how you use your loneliness to execute the achievement of your results. It's important. It's something you want to do. If you want to put your life on any kind of proper trajectory towards your dreams and your goals, this is the way. So, if you would like more on a path to mastery of whatever your goals, your dreams are, like, subscribe, tune in, because this is what I'm going to be producing as content of the sort.